You want to talk about how MrBeast is trying to buy TikTok?
So Neil put this in here. He says, will MrBeast become the next TikTok US owner? So you bring it up. I just saw him tweet something about it, so I don't know much about it.
He joined a group that's trying to buy out TikTok, and there's actually a lot of people like the Kevin O'Learys and people like that saying, hey, we want to end up buying it. There's a lot of different articles that are saying what the price of TikTok US is going to go for. Some say it could be 50 billion, some say more, some say less. I actually don't think any of these kind of people are actually going to be able to get the deal.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big amount. If you were TikTok, you would just choose the person who has guaranteed money. And yes, you may have to deal with monopolistic laws or rules, antitrust type of stuff. But in reality, if the government would let Facebook buy it, hypothetically, it would be very easy for Facebook to come up with the cash and they can do a quick deal.
Yep.
And it's seamless. But on the flip side, if you have to go through MrBeast and his group or a few others, they're pulling money from a lot of different places.
It's too much work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And they probably have to get the banks involved. But on the flip side, Google is like a $2 trillion company. It's easy for them to just buy it. Would it be for Microsoft, or so would it be for Apple?
Yeah.
Even like Walmart, they're a massive cash cow. Maybe their market cap's not as high because the business isn't as sexy as Amazon, but it is a massive cash cow. And I believe the most realistic option is just extremely large corporation just buying them over anything else.
As a side note, do you know what Stanley Druckenmiller said?
What?
So Stanley Druckenmiller is known as the GOAT of advertising, right? He's a great trader, and he's like, look, I've been investing for 49 years, and I've never seen us go from such an anti-business environment to the most pro-business environment that I've ever seen.
Wait, let's back up. You said he's a GOAT of advertising?
No, investing.
Oh, okay.
Did I say advertising?
I think so.
Oh, I meant investing.
I was just like, wait, I thought he's a finance guy. Okay, start over.
Yeah. So, okay, the GOAT of investing said, look, in his 49 years of investing, and he's got great returns, he's just like, this is the most pro-business investment he's ever seen, pro-business environment he's ever seen, meaning that, because the last administration, you had Lena Khan, and she was blocking all these deals, right?
Yeah.
It means it's more likely that a bigger deal like this is going to go through. And plus, guys, by the way, I'm sure you got a lot of, like, when Elon was buying Twitter, it was like for 44 billion, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure all over the place, you were getting, hey, you want to invest in Twitter? I have a lot of friends. Oh yeah, you can get in Twitter over here, right?
I didn't get that.
You want to put it? You want to put in, 500? You want to do this? I'm like, for what return? It's like the return's not going to be that great at the end of the day. You're better off putting it somewhere else, aka your business first and foremost, or some other areas, right? Because we talked about this a couple years ago when Elon was buying Twitter. It's like you could have invested, but like the returns just aren't as sexy.
No, I'll break out a calculation for you. Someone sent me an article. I don't have the link anymore. And this person bought $50,000 worth of Bitcoin back in.
Oh my God.
Okay, so that's 357 Bitcoin.
Oh my God.
And you look at today's price, let's call it 104,000. All right, I'm just rounding to 104. And you look at that, it ends up being $37 million, $142,000 and change. So call it just 37 million to round, right? If you look at 37 million, they put in 50,000. They've held it for a very long time. That's a 740 times return. So people are like, dude, you would have been so rich if you ended up putting all your money in Bitcoin back in the day. Well, first off, no one who has money, well, I wouldn't say no one, almost everyone who has, a majority of the people by far, would not put 100% of their money into something that is an unknown investment, especially when something's in its early days. They would put a small fraction of their money. So let's say if I would have put $50,000, and that return is built over a very long period of time. The return is amazing. And you and I mainly put our money into our business. We've dabbled in crypto. We won't get too much into that, but when you look at the numbers, we've produced not as high of a multiple return on our business, but we've produced very large returns on our business. And from a dollar perspective, I would say the returns have been, at least for us, I would say the dollar perspective, not the multiple, but the dollar perspective returns have been better.
Yeah. Well, also percentage-wise, if you think about it.
Yeah, because I started with very little to nothing on my first business.
So you can call it almost infinite.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what it is. I think the younger versions of ourselves, and this is not an investing podcast, but all right. So I wanted to take a moment to tell you about my podcast co-host Neil's agency called NP Digital, and they work with a whole host of global companies or a global organization. Also, Neil has SEO tools such as 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗪 and Answer to Public. All you have to do is go to npdigital.com to learn more, and we'll see you on the other side. I would just say the younger versions of us would get distracted by these shiny objects. It's the same thing with businesses. It's the same thing with marketing. Don't get distracted by all the channels. Don't get distracted by every single business. Just once you find something good, you should go all in on it.
Yes. And I didn't see the Trump coin come out, but one of my very close friends did. They made a killing. They sold it in 24 hours. Again, this is not financial advice though. And I saw literally the minute the Melania coin got tweeted out, literally the minute, like I was like, it just came out. I could have quickly bought it. I did not. I didn't care. This is not being political or not. It's not about left or right. It's more so, I believe if I invest in marketing, business, and myself, the return in the long run is much better than investing in another random thing.
I think also it's another thing that takes up your headspace, and that mental real estate is super, super valuable. So, all right. So that is it for today, guys. Go to marketingschool.io/agency to learn more about the Agency Owners Association. And that's the group where you're going to see our churn numbers get even better. Goodbye.